Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Well, let me first introduce Yasin Yavuz. Yasin is front-end developer at the Bolt unit in Argentina. He was supposed to be here with another colleague of him, Jonas van Buffel. He's a Open Suite design discovery, but he's ill. So Yasin will take the whole presentation on his own. Please tell him some slack. There are a few things that he won't be able to answer, but there are a lot of designers in the room as well of the Bolt unit. So guys, if there's a question you can answer, please really begin. He's going to talk about design systems. What is a design system? What can it be used for, and why should we use it?
Thank you, Lode. So as you can see, we have a very long title: Scale your digital operations and build products faster and better by embedding a design system. So let's start with the introduction. We are Bolt, Ordina's digital experience unit. I was going to do it with Jonas, but he fell ill. Jonas is actually the competence lead of design of Bolt. I myself, I'm a developer, front-end developer. And Jonas is also the solutions owner of the Ordina design system solution. So a quick word about our unit. As a digital experience unit, we offer strategic, creative, and technological services and solutions that help improve our customer digital experiences and touch points. If you see me reading a lot, I am, because a lot of stuff is from Jonas. So let's start. So offering a great customer experience and coherent experience across digital channels has become a critical factor of success for companies that bring digital products and services to the market. Despite the obvious commercial benefits of designing great products and services, consistently realizing this goal is notoriously hard and getting even harder. So digital products have become a very important part of our life everywhere. We go to book a flight, when we buy something, to pay our bills, to track our fitness goals. It's all a digital experience, and the experience and expectations towards these products are becoming extremely high because the customer wants a very nice and coherent experience. So this makes the design system a key strategic asset for any organization that produces digital products. But what exactly is a design system? So we all use this before in our life, actually. If we take the example of a Lego block, Lego is also a set of scalable components following the same design principles, and with good documentation we can use and build different things. So as you can see, we have a set of blocks which we can then use to make different products. They will all have a same and consistent feel, but we can make a lot more with only one design system. So and this is exactly what a design system is: a set of reusable and accessible design and front-end components with guidelines and documentation on how to use them. But that's not the only thing. A design system is a twofold. We have a platform and a single source of truth, where we have the components, the documents, the rules to use those. There is a model around it, and that makes design system work within an organization. I'm talking about the processes, the workflows, and the governance. Instead of using bricks today, we use buttons, typography, colors to build our model. Needless to say, this has radically changed and improved the way digital products are created. So they're much more scalable, more efficient, more methodical, and recognizable. So what are the benefits of a design system? We're already working towards this. So let's take a look what the benefits are. So a design system is like an iceberg. It's the same methodology we all use. You see the tip. On the surface, it's very visible, very tangible, and very measurable, using a shared library, and there is a faster time to market. But there are also some benefits below the surface. It helps break down design and development silos and helps to transform the way of working over time. If we take a closer look at the benefits, we see they are mainly situated in 4 domains. So we first off have the business value. So the products go to the market faster through the use of reusable and scalable components. So our time to market is way faster. We don't need to start from scratch for each project. So this speeds up the initial MVP release. So our time to release gets faster. Better quality assurance and governance by having one single source of truth. So the quality gets better because of this single source of truth. The efficiency and productivity gains by reusing components clears the standard. So we reuse these components so we can make products faster and have more time to develop other things. All this also reduces the cost of both design and development, so it's cost saving. So then we have the employee value. Design systems facilitate an ongoing collab between design and development. It helps breaks down the design and development silos and transforms the ways of working. It also improves the collaboration between design and development because it's in one big package. And we all have this, so it reduces misunderstandings and frustrations between design and development. Oh. I hope everyone still can see. It's a bit less bright, but okay. We made it a bit cozier. So we have the brand value. Design systems deliver brand unity at scale across digital touchpoints, provides a consistent tone of voice across all channels. Furthermore, brings the products to the market consistent and with good user experience. It has a good impact on brand value perception and brand recognition. Let's say a brand has multiple apps. By using a design system, we can recognize different actions so that we have consistency between those apps. And last but not least, we have the customer value. The bottom line, it has a lot of value to the customer, the end user. We deliver user-friendly, accessible products and services that are not only provide adding value to the customer, but really help them fill in all the needs. Now, what does this mean for Ordina? We have the Ordina design system solution. We help clients build the best digital products in the least amount of time by embedding a design system and scale their digital operations. This consists of a 3-phase approach. This is intake, create, and accelerate. To put these steps, to put these phases to more understandable language, it is the analysis, the setting up the system, and then using the system. These teams consist of designers and developers, and also the customer. So our own design systems consist of a set of basic principles, workflows, and UX elements. The importance is a threefold. We have our own way to experiment, test, and play with tools, design, development, and how to set up a design system. It's a great tool to give demos and to take concrete and tangible examples when we speak about design systems. It helps speed up the implementation time because a lot of the initial discussion about tooling structure, naming systems, and so on are already concluded in this setup. So let's dive a little bit deeper into it. What's under the hood? We have a design system journey. So everything has a journey. So a design system has one too. We start by designing our components in our favorite tools like Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD, and many others. Next up, we build the components using Stencil, Lit, Vanilla.js, or a framework of your liking. Once we have those components, we want to document them with all their properties using Storybook in this case. And once everything is set up and deployed, we can simply install our components using the famous npm install, let's say. But we'll take a closer look at the first step. So we have great designers at Bolt and Ordina, like my colleague Jonas, if he was here. They don't only make beautiful things, but also something functional. We use these collaborative tools like Figma so that we can see the changes instantly and have the tools to inspect those components so that we don't have to ask them every time. Let's take a look at these designs of a few buttons. We have a primary and tertiary button. This is an example in Figma. As you can see, a button is designed, and we can see all different states, like the default, the hovered state, the disabled state. But sometimes you wonder, what's the padding? Figma gives an option to look at this. Oh, you see it's 8 on the top and 16 on the sides. So once we have these designs, yeah, we need to build them. So the first step is completed. So then we go on to build the components, and we can use these frameworks to make reusable code, so that we can do it once, use it everywhere. So here we have a simple button. We called it the Bolt button, and it has a few properties like the label, a disabled state, and a click event. So we can say if you click on this button, this happens. If we have some developers here, you may have noticed in the class we use a lot of tags, and if you look deeper, it's Tailwind. So this design system makes use of Tailwind, so we can make it even easier to make and build our components. So once we have built the components, we go to the favorite part of every developer, documentation. But with the design systems, we use a Storybook. So I don't know if it's readable, but as you can see, we give it a title. It's inside of button, an action, and then we say it's the Bolt button. And then we go on ahead and say there's a label which you can change, the disabled state you can change. And at the bottom, we have an add-on which enables us to take a closer look at the original design inside of Figma. We have a link to the Figma board. Thanks to Markdown, we can fluff up our documentation a bit with some more information. And we make this page in a Storybook using the story component. At the bottom, we put an arguments table so that we can take a closer look and play with the component as well. The final thing, the result of this all, is this screen. We can see, we said it was a button. We can see the button, you can use it. We have a button to show the code if you want to take a deeper look. And we can change some states using the Properties tab. So this brings us to the final step, the deployment and the use of the design system. So we can build these, deploy these components and documentation using Azure Pipeline, so that everyone can include them inside of their projects. And it's as simple as using any other npm package. We use npm install and then the name of the design system or a link to it. In this case, it's Bolt DS Web Components. And then we're done, the journey is done. And we can use this design system everywhere, in every project, without discussing or having problems like, oh, does it need to be this size, does it need to be this color? No, you can just take a look at the design system and it's your single source of truth. To come back to the Lego, we actually made our box with all the bricks inside of them. It's up to you to decide what you want to build with it, where you want to build it. I know it's a lot faster than you might have expected, but this was the presentation. Thank you all. If you have questions about the design part, there's an email of Jonas, or you might want to ask someone else in the crowd. So, not all at once. Okay, then, oh.
What would be the best way to maintain your design system once it's been deployed? Is like a continuous thing?
I've asked a lot of developers that used design systems for their experience. And what I hear a lot is that it's important to that you have the setup of the design system before you start the project, because it's a tedious process, and if it's not done right, it might take a lot of time from your actual development. So once the design system is set up, it is very easy to use, but the setup is at the start of the project. Yes?
Till what level of complexity do you define those components?
You can, yeah, it's like any other programming language. So you define every prop you need, let's say a color or a size or something else. I can also show a small, if I may, the Bolt book of design systems, where you can see different props of a component.
For UI components, for example, do you just specify simple components like a button, or do you also make a combination of components like an organism or something like that?
It's actually more for components, but let's say you have different form fields. Form fields can be buttons or something else, so it's also a combination of them, if that's what you mean. So I'll try to show my screen. I'm going to mirror for a second. So here we have an example of the Bolt design system. And as you can see, there's a lot of things defined already. So for designing and development, there's the getting started, how to set up and sign up for Figma. For development, you can see the different things, like I said, the simple npm install, how to run and see the storybook, if you may need. We can see governance, so what's it all about. We have things about the brand itself, accessibility, color, those are design things. And at the end, for developers, we have the components part. So let's say we have an overview. Not all components are made yet. So let's take a look at the simple button. If we go to the button, you can see that the button, it's a working button, so you can look at it. And these are different props of the button. So let's say you want to make a clear button. It has an X at the end. You say it is delete. And it's actually a tertiary button. And also you can change sizes and different things. So let's say, like you asked for props, you can add everything you can imagine and what is needed actually. So you can also disable it here. Here we have the design tab. Like I was saying, you can look back at the Figma. If you still have some questions about the design, you zoom in. You take a look at the Figma. If you want to open it up in Figma, you can click on it. And we also have an accessibility tab for things that are not good about the button or something that can be improved. So we have a few more. Yeah, like a label. A checkbox is something you can change as well. Let's say it's a checkbox for I don't know. Someone have an example? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's say it's a label. You can emphasize it by using the colors. You can say it's checked or not checked if you want to have like the minus, and you can disable it. So you can look at everything of your components at the end of the day without even putting them inside of your project. I think this concludes all questions, or any more? Yes?
Do you also add end-to-end tests to your storage, or just to the components apart?
You can put tests for your components inside of the design system, which is better, I think, because the other way, you're going to test them every time again in a project. You can also do that, which is better. Then you have a double test. But inside of the design system, you can test them, and if they work, they work. Because yeah, you can't deploy without all tests running, as we all know. I mean, you can, but don't really want to. Any other questions? Yeah?
I kind of want to answer your question because you were asking mostly about whether this is purely for UI or if they start for like more advanced components that are using several things. That's something that you decide at the foundation of your design system, because the design system itself is also about the communication between your designers and your developers themselves. So at ground level, you should decide whether your design system also covers more advanced props, like maybe a card where you're using an image, a title, like maybe some breadcrumbs, who knows. So again, that's something you decide at that level. A design system can totally cover everything that you as a developer would want, but that's just something that you should decide early on who gets the responsibility of it. At the very ground level, which is in this case, which is the case here, this is purely UI and smaller components, but it can definitely also include like cards or some teasers or what have you.
And also different teaming, so you can swap teams.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that we're doing at Media House right now. There's like multiple brands happening, and you can easily switch between several at the same time with just like the click of a button. That's like a very easy way of just keeping track of what's happening where and being able to update for multiple brands at the same time.
Thank you, Nick. I think I can end my presentation then. Thank you all for listening.